Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know Podcast Network presents Balls and Brew.
Welcome to another edition of the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. I am your host, Rod Morgan, and I know I sound pretty professional with that intro there, but I'm pretty excited. This is the beginning of a 18-week journey with my three guys. We get together mostly always on Thursday nights. We're going to give you 3 picks from our football handicapper, Josh Williams, who is here. Josh, hello.
What's up, Rod? Is it Christmas morning? Are the presents underneath the tree? I mean, this is just fantastic. September is the best month.
I was actually just about to ask you, as far as all days of the year, this has got to rank up high for you, the opening week of NFL games, correct?
It's so good. It's so good. I mean, nothing can top, I think, week 1, Sunday, the NFL Red Zone, the NFL Red Zone Sunday ticket. So, yeah, man, it's coming.
Nice. Well, here you're our football handicapper. You're the one that the folks should lean to for most of our good advice around here. Joining me as well is my normal Balls and Brew co-host. He's down there in North Carolina. He has himself a case of Panthers fever. It's Chris King.
What's up, Rod? How's it going?
It could have been going better. I had a little bit of car troubles on the way here to Morgan, Studios in South Bend, Mishawaka, but, we'll deal with that at another time. But, I mean, I'm an honest man, Chris, so I'm going to tell you, it could be better because I'm worried about my car.
You got to get that thing fixed.
That's right. You know what else makes this podcast better? The fact that our producer, James Jamriska, joins us to give us his football thoughts as well all during the football season. Jimmy is here. Jimmy, hello.
I'm here. I'm ready to go. And if you had Gabriel Davis getting the first touchdown of the season from Josh Allen, you won a lot of money tonight. 7-0 Bills.
Nice. Thank you, Jimmy, for giving out the timestamp there. We typically record during the Thursday night football games. You won't hear us make too many predictions around the Thursday night game moving forward on this particular podcast. We hope that it will drop for you on Friday morning, sometimes Friday afternoon, right, Jimmy? We say hope, but we don't make any guarantees, correct?
Yeah, we have things to do, but yeah, hopefully it'll be on Friday mornings.
There we go. And so what we're going to do is we'll have our handicapper, Josh Williams. He'll make 3 picks, sometimes 2, maybe 4, just depending on how he feels. He'll give you his picks against the spread, the plays that he's going to make. We'll keep track of those from him throughout the year. I have a new fun gimmick that I've come up with this year. Jimmy, I know you have a fun little gimmick that you're going to be doing as well. And Chris, what can the folks expect from you on our football shows this year?
Every week, you guys will learn 3 things that I know.
And we all know that you know more than the rest of us because you're older than all the rest of us. So that's going to be good stuff for the listeners.
Yeah, but I will preface this by saying I don't know anything.
There we go. And the rousing success there for Chris's promo for his personal own segment there. Let's start with a little bit of the last thing we can talk about before the season kicks off. Our Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Coach of the Year, things of that nature. Mr. Williams, I know you're monitoring the odds at all times. Tell us about anything that you that caught your eye vis-a-vis season-long awards at this point.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that Justin Jefferson is going to take the next leap here in fantasy, and if he's got a really good offensive coordinator this year, that's going to be a positive going from Mike Zimmer. And the Vikings only play 7 road games this year also, so that should help. You can get him at AFC Player of the Year or Offensive Player of the Year, at 14-1 on FanDuel. I think that's a pretty good bet right there. It's pretty good odds. There's some other books that are lower than that. So starting off right there, because we know that MVP is a quarterback award. So I mean, Cooper Kupp broke the system last year at wide receiver, and he didn't sniff the MVP. So if you're gonna bet wide receiver to win anything, it's gonna have to be Offensive Player of the Year. So I like Jefferson there, 14-1 to start us off.
Now, Chris, I know that you are a defensive guru around here. Are you? Do you have any DPOY thoughts for us?
Yeah. Let me give you something that I know. You guys may know that Aaron Donald is probably the best player in the NFL right now. Not just the best defensive player, but the best player. But what I know is that by the end of this year, not only will he not be the best player in the NFL anymore, but he also won't be the best defensive player anymore. That is going to go to Micah Parsons of my Cowboys.
Wow, what a homer pick out of you. But let me get this straight. One of your 3 things for this week has just been revealed right there, huh? One of your 3 things is that you are taking a futures on your guy to win Defensive Player of the Year, huh?
Yes. he's found another level of. He has found another level of preparedness and tenacity that he didn't have last year being his first year. He's got it under his belt now. He knows what the NFL is about. He's going to take that next leap and anchor this defense, and he is going to be a wrecking machine for opposing offenses. And we're going to see that right off the bat Sunday night against the Bucs.
Mr. Williams, let me go to you on this. Chris's thoughts here. I'm not trying to denounce Micah Parsons, the defender. He may be very, very good. What I wonder is, can a man from the Dallas defense win Defensive Player of the Year if the Cowboys fall on as hard times as you and I predicted in our podcast last week? Your thoughts, Mr. Williams?
Yeah, that's probably his toughest hill to climb there. I love Micah Parsons, probably already a top 5 defensive player in the league. So he's got the talent, and he should have a lot of tackles this year because I expect the Cowboys to be playing from behind a lot because I think there is regression involved. But Micah Parsons is clearly the best defensive player on that team. So that would be difficult for him to win, in my opinion, just because I don't think they're going to win the division. But, I mean, there's no denying his talent.
Are there any odds that catch your eye for DPOY, or is that one that you tend to skip?
I mean, I didn't really look too much into that. It seems like Aaron Donald has won that 3 or 4 years out of the last 5 or 6, and I know T.J. Watt won 1 year, and so it doesn't seem to be like a true long shot ever win that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's a few candidates this year.
Chris, if the NFL starts going the way of the NBA, perhaps you'll be on to something there because they won't want to give Aaron Donald the award again, right? We talk so often about how Jokic isn't going to be able to win it next year. Giannis couldn't win it a couple of years ago because it would have been his 3rd in a row. Everybody was up in arms about Steve Nash 1 year not being able to win it. Maybe that's coming to the NFL. So that could be a positive for your guy, Micah.
Yeah, I don't think they'll give it to Aaron Donald again. I mean, we all know Aaron Donald almost retired at the end of last season. Essentially did. He turned in paperwork to the Rams. They just didn't turn it into the league and then worked out a deal. So he was ready and content to walk away from football. So I know he is a talented beast, but I don't think he's going to get it this year.
All right, Jimmy, if I came to you right now, because you more than anybody else on this podcast, I think you understand how to coach. You've coached a few youth, different leagues in your day, different sports. So who do you like as a long shot right now for Coach of the Year?
Peterson out of Jacksonville. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people. I'm big on Jacksonville this year.
Man, see that I missed you on last week's pod, Jimmy. You could have been all there with me for the Jacksonville love.
Yep. I think you have somebody in there who's not a maniac. They're going to love him already. They're going to have a solid season. He could win Coach of the Year by winning 7 games. Let's not get crazy about this, okay? Anything else other than that is going to be even more to say how good of a coach and how great of a turnaround it was.
Williams, do you think it's a sexier narrative to be a guy like Doug Peterson that recovers from a trash fire and makes it respectable, or do you think it's going to be sexier for a guy like, say, a Kevin O'Connell up in Minnesota, who I know you mentioned before, maybe run as far in the NFC playoffs as some people have them predicted? Which one do you think voters will like more?
I think you have to take your team to a division title, and that's why I mean, everybody and their mother and their grandmother loves the Bills this year. If Mike McDaniel pulls this off and the Dolphins can somehow win the East, I love him at 20-1, Coach of the Year on FanDuel. He's got a ton of speed to work with. He's got the weather, the beat down humidity in his favor with all that speed. I'm telling you, man, if he could somehow get to 11 or 12 wins, I think he gets it. Kevin O'Connell is also a good bet too. They just have to beat out the Packers, which that's going to be tough. But yeah, I would disagree with Jimmy though. If Jacksonville wins 7, I don't think Peterson's getting it. I think Jacksonville has to win 9 or 10 for them to get it. Because I think people are kind of up on Jacksonville this year. I think people think that Jacksonville's going to win like 6, 7, 8 games.
I'm a trendsetter, Mr. Williams. I'm a trendsetter. People heard me roaring for the teal of the Jaguars last week, and they wanted to get on board with me. I'm all about it. I still want my Colts to win, right? I don't want to be mistaken there. I still want my Colts to win, but let's go Jags to be that 7th playoff team in the AFC.
Sure.
All right, here I'm going to put all you guys down on paper the same way we did with division winners, playoffs, and Super Bowl. Give me your long shot MVP pick, and then we'll go into the rest of week 1 discussion. Chris, you're up first. Your long shot MVP pick is who? Well, not that it's a long shot, but you're calling it right now. Who you think's going to win?
My long... Lamar Jackson.
Lamar, that's a pretty safe bet. I'm with you, actually. I'm going Lamar Jackson as well, because if I think the Ravens are going to do as good as I said they are, and I got the futures on them, I like Lamar. Jimmy, your pick for MVP right now is?
Matthew Stafford.
Stafford, you're all about Rams repeat stuff, Jimmy. Did you go out to L.A. secretly sometime this summer and I didn't know about it?
He's my buddy. I just want to bet for him. No, if I'm all in on the Rams, I've got to be all in on Stafford. I think he's going to win it.
All right. Williams, I know you hate this, but I'm going to put you against the spot here. We all made a pick. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I think if you're going favorites, I would look in the AFC. I like Chris's pick with Lamar 20-1. I also like Herbert 9-1. I think it's going to come down to those two guys. If you're looking for a long shot, go to the NFC. The NFC is more wide open. I've already talked about Justin Jefferson.
Kirk Cousins, baby.
I've already talked about Justin Jefferson explaining to the media how he could not believe how open Cooper Kupp was last year. He's learned the offense. Now he knows why he was so wide open. Kirk Cousins last year, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. What's important about that is the 7 picks. If these guys are so wide open, Kirk Cousins has a chance to throw for 40 touchdowns, maybe less than 5 picks. If they win the division, get 12, 13 wins, Kirk Cousins 50-1 is not the craziest thing I've ever heard. You can find that, I believe, on Caesar, or I believe on DraftKings. On Caesars, he's already down to 35-1. So shop around, make sure you find that good line. Kirk Cousins is not as crazy as you think.
You know what, Mr. Williams? You have sold me. I love that pick. I like that, to quote Kirk Cousins there. I'm going to get on right after this podcast to get me some action on Cousins for MVP, because I am with you. If that guy is as good as we say, and Jefferson's good as we say, and he has all those running backs that he can throw to, and Cousins maybe isn't flashy, but he makes few mistakes, I'm absolutely with you. Matt Ryan won an MVP a few years back by throwing a bunch of touchdowns and not making a lot of mistakes. So I'm with you there, Mr. Williams. I love it.
Correct, and it's not just Justin Jefferson. We know how good a route runner Adam Thielen is. They get the huge Irv Smith, big red zone target, tight end back off of injury this year, and KJ Osborne is one of the most underrated number 3 receivers in the league. And you can always pass it out to Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison, and Ty Chandler in the backfield. This offense is loaded, man. Like, they're going to put up some points this year.
I love hearing the Vikings talk. The purple people eaters are back, baby. All right, that is our last of the discussions for season-long things there. We are now into week 1. Williams, how many picks do you have for us this week? Tell me that right now. How many plays do you have? Is it 3?
Yes, correct.
All right, Williams, you've got 3 plays for us. Chris, you said you have 3 things that you know, but you've already given us 1, so you have 2 more things you know, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and then Jimmy, let's go to you right now. Let's start with what's your little special gimmick that you're going to be doing on the football shows every Thursday, if you want to talk about when we record, or Friday when people listen.
As everyone knows, we are part of the Yeah We Know podcast. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod, and we do a lot of wrestling. Well, in wrestling, we have faces, good guys, and heels, bad guys. So we're going to do a face and a heel of the week. Now, the face of the week can be someone who did a great thing or will be doing a great thing. Heel could be someone who did something very bad on the field or off, and we're just going to kind of play with it like that. So first of all, we're going to start with the face, because I'm a good guy and I want to start with the face there. Right now, going into week 1, I think one of the biggest faces in the NFL is our boy Tua. Tua has everything going for him right now. His coach says he's the best quarterback he's ever seen. He's got Tyreek Hill. Everyone's on the Dolphins. Tua has everything in front of him, ready to go for the season. He is my face. Am I right? Is he going to be the face in week 1?
Jimmy, I'll tell you what, I love where you're at right now, because essentially what you're saying Tua has, right, is he essentially has the promo package buildup that Drew McIntyre got going into Clash at the Castle, right?
Yes,
I don't know how many wrestling fans we have over here, but that's essentially what you're saying, why Tua is a face, because all the weight of the company is behind him right now, so to speak.
So then the Patriots would be Roman Reigns then? Maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay. So right now we've got Tua being the face. I hope that it goes on to week 2 on that.
Heels are my favorite. We'll save the heel there. We'll keep you with one heel. Chris has got two things. Williams, you got your first pick. Let's go to you for your first pick. Chris, you let me know if your one thing that you know denotes to Williams' game before we move on, all right?
Roger that.
Okay, you could probably predict I was going to do this. What team am I the least enthused about this year? It's the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take the New York Football Giants getting 5.5.
Yeah.
Week 1. Listen, since 2005, Week 1 road dogs that failed to make the playoffs have rewarded those backers by resulting in a 73, 46, and 4 against the spread record. That's 61%. The Giants are going to have major concerns with their number 2 corner all year. I will say that. But that won't be an issue versus this Titans team. I mean, they just don't have the pass catchers. They lost A.J. Brown in free agency. I don't know where they're going to go with the ball here. And Landry, one of their best defensive end for the Titans, led the team in sacks last year. He tore his ACL in practice last week. He's done for the year. Brian Daboll, the great OC from Buffalo last year, is the new head coach in New York. He's going to have some RPO looks. They're going to spread Saquon out wide more often this year. So that's some new looks for the Titans. And remember, the Titans got absolutely waxed last year in Week 1 against Arizona, and that game was at home too. And then you got Wink Martindale coming over, defensive coordinator. He loves to leave his corners on islands. This is a team where you can get away with that strategy. So what do the Titans like to do on first and second down? They like to run the ball. If the Giants load the box and they get out on 3rd and long, they're going to blitz the hell out of Tannehill on 3rd and long, and we know how Tannehill doesn't like pressure. So this is the last thing here. Danny Dimes on the road is 11-4 against the spread. He's 73%. And Jones on the road, check this stat out. Jones on the road getting 7.5 points or less is 9-0 against the spread in his career. Dimes loves playing away from that New York fan base, and so that's why I'll take the Giants plus 5.5 Week 1.
You've always been a sneaky Danny Dimes guy, Mr. Williams, and I love that about you. You're definitely a Brian Daboll guy, so I'm not surprised to hear you go there. You said plenty of bad things about the Titans last week, which always makes me very happy. I just have one last question for you. Kadarius Toney. He was a bit of a fantasy tease to everybody last year, and I understand he's already banged up. Do you expect anything out of him if you think that this Giants passing attack will be a little bit better than advertised?
Eventually, if they're going to cover this game, I think this game is going to be a mucked up, just kind of grinded out game. Eventually, I think Daboll is going to get this offense going. Wan'Dale Robinson is a speedy gadget slot guy. Kadarius Toney is a super athletic guy, but it seems like he's always hurt or there's something going on with him off the field.
That's very generous, but yes, definitely true with him.
Yeah. And then Sterling Shepard, the Giants didn't expect Sterling Shepard to come back this early, and he might not play Week 1, but they didn't expect him to come back till the second half of the year. It looks like he's already going to come back. And then you got the uber talented Kenny Galladay, who just can't seem to get his head on straight. So there's a ton of talent here. I'm hoping that Daboll can get it out of him. But, yeah, we'll see. I think later on in the year is when this Giants offense might start to look a little bit better.
All right, count me out on the Kenny Galladay. All right, big free agent signings on their second team. It just, for some reason in NFL history, it doesn't work out real well. And Galladay already looking banged up. So count me out on that. But I'm still pro Giants because we all know I had a futures bet on them. Mr. King, you got anything coming out of this game, or can we move on?
No, we can move on. I don't like either of these teams.
I love the fact that Williams loves Danny Dimes.
He does love Danny Dimes. It's really kind of sweet.
Road Danny Dimes. Dimes.
All right. So, I was going to say, we better make sure we pick out the right one. What do you got for your second play this week, handicapper Josh?
Listen, man, it wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't go Tomlin rah-rah spot right off the bat.
Let's go.
Plus 6.5. You can find that on FanDuel. This has already come down to 6 on a couple of different other sites here. Yeah, since 2005, divisional dogs have gone 58, 36, and 2 against the spread in Week 1. That's 62%. And Week 1 dogs of 6.5 or more have gone 43 and 27 since 05. That's 61%. And listen, Tomlin as a dog, this is his territory. Get off his yard. They are 47, 26, and 3 against the spread as a dog under Tomlin. That's 64%. That's number 1 out of any coach since 2003.
That's an incredible percentage. Out of all the percentages you throw around associated to coaches, that's a high number. I don't even care what you're talking about.
I'm going to give you one even better. Tomlin is 19-6-2 against the spread as a dog versus the AFC North. 76%. That's insane. And check this out. The Super Bowl loser hangover in week 1 is real. That following year, they're only 4-18 against the spread since 2000. Yeah, look, you get a divisional dog here. It's not traveling far. The total is only 44. That tends to favor a lower scoring game, help out the dog here. And the Steelers added cornerback Levi Wilson to the secondary. They take away defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi from the Bengals. That's a good get there. And the Bengals upgraded their O-line in the offseason. I get that. But there are still 4 new starters on that O-line. So as the season progresses, I expect them to gel more. But in week 1 versus the Steelers and Mike Tomlin and Brian Flores, don't forget Brian Flores is on the defensive staff now. So you've got 2 of the best defensive minds on that Steelers staff. That's a tough first game for a newish O-line. I like the Steelers, Tomlin rah-rah spot plus 6.5 on FanDuel in week 1.
We're going to get T-shirts made of the Tomlin rah-rah spot. I'm telling you, that is absolutely incredible. Chris, he's coming right after your purple, or not your purple, your orange and black striped train there. You got anything to say about him picking your Bengals to lose their first game of the year?
I don't like it. And he didn't say lose. He said that the Steelers would cover the spread. So as long as the Bengals win, I don't really care.
Plus 6.5.
Yeah. So the Steelers are a mess, for less of a better term, this year. We'll see what that offense is capable of doing. I do think the defense is still going to be good, but I think Cincinnati's still better. They're going to be competing for that division title, not Pittsburgh.
All right, listen, I don't appreciate you not allowing me to put words in Williams' mouth there. I was just trying to get him tripped up on purpose. I know full well that he didn't predict them to win, but I was just trying to start some trouble there, Chris. Mr. Williams, we'll get back to you in a second. But, Chris, since he came after your Bengals, why don't you give us something else that you know real quick, and then before we get back to Williams. All right, no, wait a minute, Mr. Williams. We're probably related to this point. Go ahead.
No, just a weird stat this year. The Steelers, this is more of a season-long stat. The Steelers are the only team this year that does not travel out of their time zone.
That's incredible.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, you can say that this defense is getting up there in age, and I would agree with you, but I still think it's got a high upside, especially when it doesn't have to travel out of their time zone. So it doesn't have any quirky, going across the country or going over to London type of games. So I think that favors the Steelers in the long run.
Nice. That's going to help their creaking old bones. I'm at 42, and I can already understand how much that can help. So, Chris, let's go over to you. Tell us something else that you know for sure here, because we only got one more pick left for Mr. Williams.
One thing that I know is you don't go and try to break in new shoes 3 days before a game. This just came out today. Dak Prescott, franchise quarterback, nice, goes out and almost re-injures his surgically repaired right ankle because he's trying to break in some new Jordan 11s 3 days before his week 1 matchup. I know that is something you shouldn't do. And what happened? He learned his lesson. He's going back to his Jordan 1s that he's wore all preseason. So I tell you, sometimes being a Cowboys fan is just gut-wrenching.
You know who I blame for this, Chris? I blame Mike McCarthy. If anybody on that team had any kind of respect for Mike McCarthy, they wouldn't do garbage like this.
Yeah, possibly. Who knows? Dak's got to be smarter than that.
All right, there you go. I like that, Chris. That's a good one. A little brevity out of you there. Mr. Jamriska, let's go over to you. No, Chris, you're done. That's enough. That's good. You know what I mean? No one to leave the room. You had your joke in there. We're moving on. Jimmy, let's go to your heel of the week.
Okay, so my heel of the week is someone who apparently needed to do a lot of studying over the offseason, lost his wide receiver, has a coach that's on the hot seat already. Kyler Murray is my heel right now. People are down on him a lot. Not very much expectations for the Cardinals this year, even though he got paid. Kyler Murray, I'm a little worried about him. Mr. Williams, am I okay to worry about him? Week 1, real tough matchup against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think you should worry, and really it might get ugly really fast here with no Christian Kirk, no DeAndre Hopkins for the first 6 weeks. They're losing people left and right. They lost one of their starting corners to a cooking accident this week. I'm starting to think that this might be one of those seasons for Arizona.
Oh, no, it's the team. Oh, no, it's one of those seasons for them.
And you picked them? I think you picked them, so they might have the Jimmy Jinx on there, so I don't know.
I love it, the Jimmy Jinx.
Hey, it's all right. I'll bet against them. It's fine.
The cooking accident, what I mean, is this guy a Top Chef fan? Is he watching old Julia Child videos? I want some more information on how exactly he hurt himself cooking. Does this guy fancy himself a foodie or what? We don't want people having interests outside of the football field, right, Williams? We're old school football coach, study, only football.
I don't know. I'm going to have to do some more digging on this. I think his last name is Hamilton. Had some cooking accident. That seems bizarre. It seems like maybe something that Chris can bring to the table next week, and we could all laugh at the story.
That is very good. Chris, you're on that for next week. And I love that you just said Chris, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Chris for his last thing that he knows. Then we're going to get Williams' last pick for the week. Then I'm going to close everybody out with my big finale special thing that I've cooked up. Chris, what do you got? What's the final thing you know?
What I know is that not only are the Detroit Lions going to cover the spread against the Eagles, they're going to outright win. I got tired of hearing all this Eagles love from you guys last week.
Whoa.
And everywhere else I've been reading. The Lions are going to come out and they're going to beat the Eagles and probably the upset of the week.
Wow, the upset of the week. Chris calling it out there. I like that. That was my gimmick last year where I tried to predict upsets, and I ultimately just fell off with it by the end of the year. I didn't like it. But that's a good thing that you know for sure, because there is a lot of love for the Eagles out there. Jimmy, your thoughts on that?
Real quick, going back to Antonio Hamilton from the Cardinals. He actually spilled hot cooking oil on his legs and feet, got second-degree burns, had to go to the hospital. It does not look good, okay? It is not good at all. So, Antonio, we hope you get back pretty quick there, and there's some other disgusting pictures of second-degree burns. So, there's that. I know Chris hates the Eagles, and he will always bet against the Eagles. So, just remember that. Chris hates the Eagles.
It is kind of that simple. I'm not really entirely sure why Chris hates the Eagles so much. I mean, it could be, his time when he was a roadie back in the 80s. He went through there many times with many bands. I don't know. There could still be bench warrants for him in the city of Philadelphia. I don't really know. Chris, I don't want to blow your spot up, but I mean, you do seem to have a vendetta against Philadelphia.
Listen, there are some crazy people in Philly. The fans there are crazy, and anybody from Philly will agree with me.
All right, there you go, Chris. And that's your final thing that you know this week. We got Jimmy's face and heel. Mr. Williams, our handicapper, the one here who knows more about football than the other three of us on this podcast. What do you got for your final play?
All right, you guys probably could have saw this coming too. I'm gonna take the Vikings plus 1.5. Fox's game of the week, 4:00. Look, divisional dogs. We said it before. 58, 36, and 2 against the spread in week ones. That's 62%. Since 2016, they are a whopping 73%. And that number goes up if it's divisional home dog also. And I just think this is a much bigger game for the Vikings. The Pack still have to get their young wide receivers acclimated with Rodgers, get them on the same page. There's no Devontae Adams. There's no MVS. Looking like there's no Lazard. Now you have to rely on a couple of rookies and a couple of vets long in the tooth in Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins. No better time to back this Vikes secondary, which is also up there in age, with Harrison Smith and Patrick Peterson, than in week one. And I just think the Vikings have circled this game since the schedule makers released it back in May. If they want to win this division, you have to beat Aaron Rodgers at home in week one. And remember, Rodgers and the Pack looked totally out of sorts last year in week one when they lost to the Saints 38-3 on a neutral site game. Remember that was the game that the Hurricane moved. And Rodgers is the king of just relax. We'll take it one game at a time. So I think the Vikings have to jump out on them early this year if they want to win the division. I like the Vikings plus 1.5 at home this week in week one.
Well, I love that, Williams. And as you can see in FanDuel right now, a $10 wager on your 3-team parlay would pay out $58.42. Is that are you going to parlay that, Williams, or just going to go individual?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can add a few others in here, but I usually have success over the years in week one. Week one's usually one of my better weeks, so I'll look around and see what I can play around with, and I really like those 3 bets right here that I got going here. All 3 dogs. So hopefully the dogs are barking here in week one.
Nice, dogs barking. Let me ask you this, Jimmy. Do you believe that if the Packers do lose this game, that Aaron Rodgers will try to blame ayahuasca? Do you think that that's possible?
No, I think he will have a very 10,000-foot view of the whole situation and be very deliberate in his answers, and he will talk very nicely about his teammates. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what he'll do. All right, so we got
quitting.
Jimmy's face and heel for the week. We got Chris's 3 things he knows. We got our handicapper Josh Williams' 3 picks out there. And to you to recap, Mr. Williams' pick, he is going take the 5.5 points that the Giants are getting, take the 6.5 points that the Steelers are getting, and take the 1.5 points that the Vikings are getting. He's playing dogs. We love him. Jimmy talked to you about what the parlay would be there. All that's left is for me, your fearless leader, your host, Rod Morgan. And everybody's been on brand here a little bit, right? Williams has brought up all the things that we know he brings up except for the 49ers, but don't you worry, he'll talk plenty about them as the year goes on. What is my gimmick? My gimmick is Tom Cruise. I've done year-long celebrations leading up to a Tom Cruise podcast, blew out the Tom Cruise podcast this summer, loved every second of Top Gun Maverick. So what I'm going to do is every week I'm going to attempt to give you the Top Gun Maverick game of the week. Not the Top Gun Maverick game of the week, but the Tom Cruise game of the week. Excuse me. I'll try to give you what game is going to be the blockbuster, the best game to watch, the fun one, the one that everybody's talking about, leaving the weekend. And here's even a nice way for me to grade it. I'm going to give you the game. If it works out to be a great game, then we're going to equate it to one of Tom Cruise's big blockbusters. If I give you the game and it ends up being a big dud, we're going to equate it to one of Tom Cruise's not very good movies. So my pick for this week comes with a storyline built in already. We're going to Carolina versus Cleveland, baby. Baker Mayfield is selling merch. Baker Mayfield is F-bombing people. He is on a revenge tour to torch his jilted ex-lovers of the Cleveland Browns. Give me Carolina, Cleveland as this week's Tom Cruise game of the week. Ups and downs, big blockbuster. Coming away from it, you're going to be like, man, that was a game. That's the Tom Cruise game of the week. Mr. Williams, your thoughts?
There's definitely some narrative going on in that game. Yeah, it should be interesting. Nobody has bigger splits with Baker when he's pressured or when he's not pressured. I think his QB rating is goes up 64 points when he's not pressured. The Browns pressure you. Myles Garrett, it pressures you. So we'll see how Baker reacts to that. I know he wants to kill him 50-0, but and everybody wants to root for Carolina in this game. That scares me. That I feel. I know everyone's going to boo me here, but I feel a Browns victory coming.
Well, listen, Jacoby Brissett's just never really involved in normal games. So, I mean, that's going to be another thing that's just going to make it really entertaining. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of hard hits on Baker. There's going to be a lot of, Baker may even do a DX crop chop at some point in this game, Jimmy. I don't really know what he's capable here of.
I cannot wait to see what happens. I think the only thing that would have been better if this was in Cleveland, but we'll take it now. Baker Mayfield, I think he's going to throw for 3 touchdown passes. I think he's just going to come out firing.
That's what I'm saying. It's my Tom Cruise game of the week, and we will come back at you next week. We'll talk how Josh did on his picks. Jimmy will have a new heel and face for you. Chris will have 3 things that he knows for sure, and we can grade my Tom Cruise game of the week. But I wanted to let you know one other thing. If you listen to all of our football shows, bless you. But if you're interested in sports entertainment, check Jimmy and I out over on our Yeah We Know podcast. And Jim, there's a milestone coming up over on the Yeah We Know podcast, and I think you're pretty proud of it.
100 episodes of the Yeah We Know podcast. We reached that pretty quick here, and we're excited. Got a huge draft because that's what we do. More details to come.
All right, Jimmy, I've got to take this phone call. You close it out for me.
Goodbye, Internet.